Guys, this is probably one of my favorite ways of finding off-market properties. It takes a little bit of setup, but after once it gets going, you're finding deals without lifting a finger. It is so easy, uh, but you got to do a little heavy lifting up front. For those that don't have any time or no money, this is still a great way because you can do that heavy lifting a little bit here, a little bit there, and it'll build momentum along as long as you are consistent. Words in my mouth. Don't want to work today. So, um, here's what it is. So this is what if you had a minion army working for you for free, relatively for free, I should say. So here's what it is. This is a strategy that I put into place, and I built it out of necessity. So when I was working at Walmart, 60 hours a week because I was a salary member of management, and I was going to school full time, 18 credit hours. So I didn't have any extra time at all. So when people say, "Oh, I don't have any extra time," and we start talking about their schedule, like, dude, I mean, you got like 20 hours more a week than I did. Like, I didn't sleep. I didn't. I mean, it was just like lived on these things, which I kind of still do. I'm addicted. That's a whole nother video. So building a minion army. Here's how this works. And yes, this will work for real estate agents. I'll tell you how to structure it so it can. Okay. All right. It's finding the everyday people to start looking for deals for you. So this is like the and I know you're gonna think you know what this is, but hear me out, okay? So this is like the bird dog method where you're paying someone to find the lead for you, and if you close, then you pay the money. So here's the thing. So you find someone that needs to earn some extra cash, and then you have them like start driving for dollars for you. They're driving around. Watch the video of driving for dollars so you can instruct them if you're not doing the driving yourself. What to look for, how to find it. Looking for distressed properties. Uh, that's a big way to kind of push people to find deals for you. So here's how that works. What you do, you need to find people that either one that would need some extra cash, or that they already work in an industry where they're naturally going to be in front of distressed properties. So, for example, let's say that you know a bunch of people that drive Uber or Uber Eats. What do they do all day? They are driving around the neighborhoods all day, every day. Do you think they come across any distressed properties? If you ask them, they'll probably say no, but they weren't looking before. If you give them a reason to look, just like you and me, when I first started, I didn't think there was that many distressed properties until I started to look. Then I'm like, holy cow, they are everywhere. So getting with the Uber driver and saying, listen, man, I'm a real estate investor. I'm looking for properties that fall into these categories. And if you see a property that has a bunch of tall grass, bad roof, has multiple things, if you write down the address and take a picture of it, send it to me, and I buy it, I'll pay you. And this could be whatever you guys are thinking, like two to $5,000 if I close. You're like, what? I have to drive a whole month to make that much. And then when you're saying it, when you're actually having that conversation with them, make sure to ask, like, getting to, let's say a solid number, getting $3,000 extra in the next week or so, that wouldn't help you, would it? Again, you want the emotional connection to the money that you're offering. That wouldn't help you, would it? Well, yeah, that would be amazing. Really? Like, so tell me how. How would that help you if you got an extra $3,000 next week? Well, I mean, I wouldn't have to drive Uber for this next month or whatever, or I'd be able to pay off this, da da da. Like, oh, really? Oh, that'd be okay. So, I mean, how would you feel if you didn't have to drive Uber or whatever the thing they said? If you were to pay off the credit card? Oh, it'd be such a relief if I didn't have that credit card payment on me anymore. Okay, so next time you're driving, just keep your eyes open. This is the criteria. This is how you contact me. Blah blah blah. And so now you have this Uber driver that's, as they're driving, they're doing driving for dollars. They're looking deals for you, and you only pay them if you close. It's paying people in commission, and it's phenomenal, right? So, and you need to be front of mind. So reach out to them, have a list, like how's it going? Did you see anything? And let them know what's going on in the property. Like if they send you an address and you looked it up, you contacted the seller. I was like, hey man, I was actually able to get a hold of that one house. It looked like they want to buy, or I could never get a hold of the seller. Or like, hey man, I have an appointment tomorrow to go talk to him. Blah blah blah. I'm really excited. Let's see what happens. You know, you start showing them progress, and they're gonna send you a ton more leads, even if they didn't close. But if you're communicating with them, and this is like takes a second to send a text message, so don't say you don't have time for that stuff. They're going to be so excited. They're going to start sending all sorts of addresses to you. Okay, so Uber drivers, Uber Eats, those are like kind of like low hanging fruit. What's really good people to contact is mail people. So mailmen, phenomenal. Every time I'm driving or and I see a mail person, I will talk to them wherever they're at. Doesn't matter. I'll stop and I'll talk to them, and I'll tell them what I'm doing. Like, hey, and I'll try to get the emotional connection of the $3,000, whatever it is. And most of the time, they'll give me a list of like 4 or 5 addresses right then and there. Why? Because they usually drive the same route, and they know all the addresses on their route. They know the one that never gets mail, or they do. It's just in the same pile, piles up all the junk mail in the same. They already know those type of properties. Here's the thing. Here's what you can do. That's what I did. So, I had a mailman. He was here's what you can do. So I had a mailman. He was doing really good. He gave me a bunch of leads. We closed him on a deal, and he got paid. I think it was like $3,000 or whatever. And I was like, dude, I know you because you only have like one route, so you only have so many properties you can tell me about. But you got buddies in the post office, right? That do the same thing you do. Why don't you tell them what the same thing we're doing? And if I'm paying you $3,000 for something we close, why don't you keep $1,000 and give your guys $2,000 just to broker it? You don't have to tell them about the $1,000. That's between us. So if the friends are giving him an address, and then he gives it to me, and then I close on it, I give him the $3,000, and he pays his buddy $2,000. He just made $2,000 for doing nothing. Do you think that guy was motivated to continue to help me? To continue to talk to his other colleagues about finding more deals? Mm-hmm. Yep. Right. So finding people that are already in the industry, or not industry, but they're there, right? So mail carrier, Uber drivers, people that travel, right? Salesmen that are like door knockers. Talk to those guys, right? You can use social media as well. So throw it out there in social media. Now, again, with agents, a little different, and I'll explain how agents can actually do this strategy. So with social media, you can put out there, and this is like the only thing agents may have a little bit, if they're throwing this offer out, it's a little bit. I don't know. You guess you could do it. Depends how you post it, right? So like, I'm looking for partners. If you're an agent, for example, I'm looking for partners to partner on me with a deal. The partner that usually finds the lead gets paid X amount, whatever your fee is, right? Or like the 3,000, 5,000, whatever it is. And again, don't be afraid of that commission that you're paying these people, because if I'm going to make $20,000 on this transaction, but I have to pay $5,000 in order to get it, I'd rather make 15,000 than zero. I don't know about you, but that's me. That's abundance mindset. That's like, I can make zero, or I can make 15,000. Yeah. Are we done with that? Okay. So pay them handsomely. You do one deal with them, and that's going to change. They're going to be like on this like blue bonnet. They're going to help you out so much. Okay. So agents, like, I'm looking for a partner that looking for houses and distressed properties. Nate did a really good post about this. He just said like, hey, he took a picture of himself in front of a really distressed property, and he's like, hey, I pay people $2,000 to $5,000 in a referral fee. You may not want to say referral fee, but I pay two people $2,000 to $5,000. If they tell me about houses like this and I end up buying it, I'll pay you that money. And so, I mean, just from that one post, and you can post it into groups. So if you don't have a huge following, we'll post it in social in the groups. So post it in like anywhere that you want to invest that has that the X City Magna neighborhoods, whatever group that they have like $50,000 50 10,000 members or whatever, right? You can your the limit is your imagination. That's it. That's the only limit right here is your imagination. Okay. Now, as far as like how can agents kind of work this out as far as not paying referral fees, because there's a limit how much an agent can pay referral fee, at least here in Utah. You can buy a property as an agent, do a deal, you as you buying it, that shouldn't be a problem. I mean, if your broker has a problem, then I mean, find a new broker, man. That'd be crazy. So that's totally fine and legal. And you can also partner with anyone you want. You can do joint ventures. You can do business partnerships with anyone you want. You're still a free person to do what you need to do, right? So what I would do is to how to structure that. So I'm careful how you say things. So you're not saying referral fee or nothing like that. You need is an agent, you say like partnership, and you need to write up an actual joint venture where the guy that brought you the lead, okay, great. Guess what? So in this transaction, whether it's a flip, wholesale, whatever, we are partners. And what you brought to the table was the lead. And after all said and done, your share of the deal is going to be $5,000. Doesn't have to be a percent; it could be a straight up number. You can do percents if you want, whatever you guys want to do, right? Straight up number, and then bam, that's an agent paying a referral fee, but it's not a referral fee, a partnership with the guy that brought you the lead. And this is really good. So you can post out there, hey, I'm looking for people to make phone calls, and if they for appointment setters. Okay, this is great for people who don't have any time, no money, right? I need appointment setters to make phone calls of this list I have to go so I can go and close them, right? And let's just say that you don't even have time to go and for an hour for that appointment. Okay, cool. Well then, uh, just partner with someone else. So you can partner with like myself or anyone, right? That has experience, right? So it's like I don't have any time. I'm so bored. I don't do nothing. I sent out this post. I got Sally. She started making phone calls for me. Set this appointment. Hey Jared or hey David. Hey Linda. Do you guys want to partner in this? We can split the percentage to whatever you guys agree upon, and then they go close it. So basically, you put things together, and then you got paid. So even not having any time, not having any money, you can still do this. This is what I did when I first started out. This is how I found That's how I found deals. Was doing stuff like this, getting a minion army to help me find deals. I don't know why my light just went off. You know, let there be light, right? So let that be your light. That you can do this, guys, and you can just add this to your repertoire of whatever you're doing. So say you have a ton of time, start building a minion army. It's gonna be amazing, right? If you do have to be front of mind, a little bit of training. If you're having them make calls for you, cool. It's a little bit more work, right? As far as training them, getting things going. But it's like, it's not as hard as it comes out to. Give them a script, and they're gonna mess up, and that's fine. But keep on going. Sweet. This is gonna be phenomenal. So awesome, guys. As far as like your MMAs, right? Go out there, find at least 5 minions. Maybe we should change the name from minions. I like minions. Find 5 minions. That's through a social media post or whatever. Dude, guys, you know what I did? I was in my when I got to tell you this real quick story. when I was in the midst of like when I was doing all the minion work, getting a bunch of minions for me, and it was beneficial, right? So I was the young men's leader in my church. So I was over the the young men in our the youth, right? So the teenagers, I was in charge of them. We did activities, and so I told the guys, like, hey, listen, you guys find me a property that looks like distressed and whatnot, fits these criteria. I buy it. I'll pay you guys $500. $500 for 14-year-olds, like, my goodness gracious, even 16-year-old, like, yeah, I'm down. And so I had these guys like on their bikes, and they're just right they're riding around the city just looking for distressed properties for me. uh I had some questions from parents. I probably should have cleared it with them before I talked to them, but it was fine. It all worked out. um Again, that's just to point out the limit is only your imagination. Okay. And start commenting, put in the comments of some ideas where you can find your minions of and different ways of thinking about it. Let's brainstorm in the community chat, in the comments, and in the make a post about this. Let's do a forum about ways of finding minions to help us massively be more successful. So, all right, guys, I love you all. Appreciate it. Let's do this.